And welcome to church. This is the Church of Infinite Spirit. I'm Reverend Lauren Skye, and it's the mission of this church to support spiritual freedom and everyone's ability and divine right to connect directly with Spirit, the God of their heart, or the consciousness of this universe in whatever way they see it. It's great to see so many people out here on a Broncos Sunday, so happy to have you all. And there are a lot of new faces here, so I want to just say a little bit about what this space is about. The space is really casual, physically and energetically. We always invite you to be exactly who you are and to make yourself physically and energetically comfortable in the space. We always invite you to take what you can use from the message and let the rest go by. We're not much a group of convincers. We're very much a group of inviters, that our intention is to create a space in which you are invited to find your own truth and your own path and your own passion for living. So when we get together, we like to talk about just that, and we like to practice what we do with a couple of ceremonies involving meditation, right? So we're super interested around here in finding the light within and letting it shine. We do that through meditation. Meditation is simply an invitation to let go of the outer world and come into the inner world, the world through which the outer world is being created moment to moment, and to even have the opportunity to shift that inner world to create an experience we'd enjoy more than perhaps the one we're having. When we meditate, we close our eyes. If closing your eyes isn't safe for you or it just doesn't feel right, feel free to leave them open and just look at a neutral object, like the pattern on the carpet or the back of the chair. It's nice not to look right at someone who's meditating. They can feel that energy. Especially folks that are drawn here, they're usually sensitive to energy, so it's nice to give space. And when we're meditating, you may notice some people yawning, looking tired, their eyes might run. And this is simply people who've taken some classes here. Sometimes in their meditations, their bodies begin to release. So we won't take it as a commentary on the activity. I'm going to try not to take it as a commentary on the activity. But if somebody's doing that near you, please don't worry about it or be offended. They're just doing their thing. So if you want to participate in our meditation, just go ahead and close your eyes or cast them softly on a neutral object. Let's begin with a big deep breath. Would you give your body a big breath? We're going to walk through a 3-step process to shift from that outer world to the inner. Our first step is called grounding. Grounding is simply a vision or an imagination, an imaginary connection from the base of your spine to the center of the earth. So as you breathe into your body, would you begin to notice it? Maybe the little places that are tense. Maybe you could find one spot that's relaxed. Maybe one of your toes is relaxed. Would you notice your back? All those muscles, shoulders. There's a spine in your back. Would you notice it? And at the bottom of your spine, the tailbone, is the first chakra energy center. To ground, simply envision perhaps a colored beam of light of any color but white or black, or a root like a tree root, extending from the base of your spine. It's going to grow like a tail, and it grows right from where a tail would grow from. With your imagination, would you grow it like a tail and let it get long? It's going to go right through your chair. It's going to go right through the floor, grow down through the building. It's going to plunge into the earth and grow all the way to the center of the earth, all the way to the earth's core. When it reaches the earth's core, it'll merge with the lava there or connect with the center of the earth. This imaginary construct is called a grounding cord. And it has several purposes, two of which are to bring you as spirit more into the body. Right? Come present into your life. The second purpose of the grounding cord is to become a trash chute, a way to let go, like a hose extending from the base of your spine to the center of the earth, through which you can release energy you don't need to be carrying. We recycle so much through our chakras, through our energetic systems, that we don't need at all. And when we're grounded, that energy has a place to go. It can fall to the center of the earth, to the earth's core, where it is recycled into neutral. You could even intend, if you're carrying stress, you could watch that stress release down the grounding cord into the earth to be recycled and renewed. The second step of this meditation process is to open the sixth chakra energy center. The sixth chakra sits deep in the middle of our heads. That third eye we all know about on our foreheads is an entry point to the sixth chakra. The chakra itself is deep in the head, behind your eyes, between your ears, at a gland called the pineal gland. It sits in a pocket of tissue with some other glands at the top of the brainstem. The way to open the sixth chakra is to simply place your attention there. Just begin to notice it. The sixth chakra is the seat of clairvoyance or clear vision. Our divine ability as spirit to see energy, the building block of reality, energy, and to shift that energy through intention. You might just be willing. I'm going to be in the middle of my head. Space where you can find your own clarity and answers. Third step of this process is to manage the energy fields around us, right? Our auras. Everything emanates energy. People, objects, situations. And one way to keep ourselves safe and clear about our truth in the world of energy is to manage the space right around us, our aura field. And a fun and easy way to do that is to simply imagine that you're sitting inside a bubble. Like inside a big soap bubble or eggshell all around you. Make sure it's big enough. Do you have enough space, or is your bubble too close to your body? It's okay to move it out a little bit and give yourself some breathing room. If you're a super sensitive soul in a body, you might even want to imagine painting your aura bubble a color for some extra protection. Any color but white or black works great for an aura bubble. Mine's kind of a light blue today. Would you give your body a big breath and just notice, here you are, present. You're grounded. Sixth chakra is open. You're in your personal universe, your aura bubble. And in the paradigm of information that we work with, the energies that you carry in that body of yours, in your chakras, and in your aura bubble will be reflected back to you in your reality of experience of life. So if there's an energy that you want to experience more of in your life, You can start that process by bringing it right into your universe of reality. It's very easy to do that. Let's end this meditation by bringing in a little energy that we'd like. You know your world. What's an energy you'd like to experience more of in your world? More fun? More clarity, maybe? More prosperity? That's a current favorite. Right? More joy? More love? Maybe more self-love. Would you pick a word that represents a vibration? Just one for now. I'm going to pick fun. And here's a way to bring that energy right into your reality. You're sitting inside this powerful stance of consciousness, this meditation space. Would you imagine above your head sits a big golden ball of light, like a big gold sun. And that big gold sun might be a couple of inches above your head, or it might be a foot above your head. It's probably part inside your aura bubble and part outside. Let it be big. And would you imagine the word that you've chosen, and would you write that word right across your sun? Energetically, this is like dropping food coloring into water. The sun is going to absorb the word and match it. It'll become a big gold sun of that vibration. So you end up with a big old gold sun of fun or love or whatever word you've chosen above your head in the form of energy. And now we're going to bring that energy right into our realities. Would you imagine setting that sun right into the top of your head, or reaching up with your imaginary hand and popping the bottom of it like popping a balloon, and let that gold light start to come right into your body as the sun sets or the energy streams in. Let your body receive it. The very vibration you seek, you can become and attract it. Would you bring that energy in through the top of your head and let it fill up your whole head? Watch that golden light come in and fill up your neck, your shoulders. Maybe it relaxes your shoulders as it comes on in. Let it come in through your chest, your torso. Let all the cells of your body receive this gold light and be filled with it, even the spaces between the cells. Watch that golden light come down and fill up your butt. You have a butt of gold. Let it come in and fill up your legs, your knees, all the way down to your feet. It's going through your arms, all the way down to your hands, your fingers. And if there's more, would you let it spill into the bubble around you? When you are full of golden light, would you stretch your body and open your eyes? It's always nice to move around a little. Good job. So it's been about a month, and here we are again at church. Started doing church services in 1998, and it's one of my favorite parts of the Interconnection Institute space. I'm glad I don't have to pick a favorite, because that would be impossible. So it's one of my favorites. I love watching the people come in and see each other, and they haven't seen each other for a month, and reconnect and settle in. And it's almost like a vibrational settling in when people come and find where they're going to be and kind of own their body in that chair. It's an honor to watch. I love that this church is casual and easy. And I love that it's a space of no judgment, right? It doesn't mean we never have judgmental thoughts. It doesn't mean stuff doesn't come up. Judgment might come up, but it isn't validated, right? There's freedom to let that stuff go. But everybody who walks in the door is free to be who they are. It's a space of cooperation, for sure. Margaret or I get to stand up here and talk, and you guys kind of agree to not yell at us, which we appreciate, and give us the space to do it. But it is definitely a no judgment space, and that's so important to me. Sometimes I get razzed about the fact that it is a church. I knew from the beginning that this entity would be a church entity. Sometimes when I talk about it, folks are like, it's a what? I hate church. That one I hear a lot. I hate churches. Or I'll never go to another church. Right? One time in my life I said, I'll never date another Gemini. Nothing against Geminis. I'm sure they're wonderful people. It's just not a match. But I many times have heard, are you a Gemini? Oh, good. But I many times have heard, I'll never go to another church. And what I would say to that is, what a lot of churches are doing, and what we don't like about church, has very little, if nothing, to do with the original intention of church, or the vibration of church, right? We just put a word in our sons, that's vibration. The vibration of church is not one of judgment. I see church as intended to be a space, like a nest, where we can come out of the frenzy or the illusion of our daily earth lives. Our daily earth lives are super important. It's a reflection of the reality of spirit, right? But it's not the core of reality. It's the playground. So sometimes we think of it as an illusion because it's mirroring all the energy that we carry. It's mirroring all the energy that's around. And church is a space to be able to say, okay, I'm going to come back. I'm going to be in a safe place to remember that I'm incarnated spirit, enjoying or not enjoying, given the day, this playground of earth. It's a place to come to remember ourselves as spirit and a body. That remembrance is incredibly important, right? Because it changes everything. It brings perspective to everything. It brings what some people would call comfort, right? But the comfort comes from the touching of the truth within us. We're all here together. The illusion of the daily life isn't all there is to us. And that's a great thing to know and remember and come back to when we've lost it. And in church, there's something to be said for the two or more are gathered thing, right? In our ministers programs, when we teach ministers, we look at all the teachings of Jesus from a very different perspective, more from a Gnostic perspective, than what you might imagine. And one of those teachings, when two or more are gathered in my name, what we see that meaning is when people come together by agreement to validate each other, to say yes to each other, that's really powerful. You know, yes, I see you as spirit in a body. Yes, I see you as the powerful creator of your life. I'm not seeing you anything than what you are, the light expressed physically. And we don't get a lot of that in our culture. So church is a great space to come and give and receive that vibration. You don't need to be in a church to do it, but it sure is nice when we all come together. A lot of times, sometimes people will say, it's easier for me to ground here than in my house. Well, that's because it's set at yes to grounding, yes to spirit. So it's easier to match that vibration. There's vibrations to match everywhere you go. So this is just a nice one to come and match and remember who you are. There's a saying in our psychic awareness program that floats around, thank God for other psychics, right? Because it's wonderful to be in a community of people who agree on a particular level of reality. What's important? So church is about just that, coming out of the illusions of daily life, remembering our nature as spirit. Being able to come out of those illusions makes them actually enjoyable, right? If my work is not my all, I might actually enjoy it, right? If my quest to make money and acquire isn't my validation, if I don't have to do that to be okay, I might actually choose to do it just because I want to. But it'll be coming from a totally different place. It'll be coming from a place of spiritual perspective. So what we don't like about, well, I don't know. This is a generalization. So, warning, this is a generalization. I think what we don't like about the general church space in a lot of ways is that oftentimes it's about coming out of one set of illusions right into another set of illusions, right, that are often not fun at all, right? Sometimes the set of illusions that are being played out are more rough, more judgmental than what one is experiencing in their regular day. There's no peace in that. And depending on how you see reality, for me, there's no truth in that. There's no truth in the punishment and reward or control game that you must earn the right to experience yourself divinely. How is that a right to earn? It's part of your nature. It's who you are. So there are a lot of new churches, right? There's a lot of, they're called alternative churches, but they're really not alternative at all. They're just a little different than traditional. And it's great to have spiritual freedom, this time of growing spiritual freedom, where there are more and more places to explore your nature as spirit without a judgmental rule set around that nature. There seems to be more spaces like that than ever, or really in a long time, right? There's a historical event. The year is escaping me, but I bet somebody knows it. I think it was 300 AD, called the Council at Nicaea, where Christian leaders came together at that time and decided what would be in the Bible, what would not make it, who was going to have power, and who was going to kind of drift away. And the Gnostics at that time drifted away. They were the group or the sect that believed greatly in the individual freedom to experience oneself divinely or connect divinely. So it's been a while, but it's not the first time. Spaces that are about knowing the self as soul and all that we are. Those spaces are non-judgmental sanctuaries of remembrance. And here we are at one, again in an election year. So when I was looking at gathering today, kept coming back to this idea of church. And I went and looked up my talk from November 2008, when it was Barack Obama and John McCain. And right in the beginning in my notes, I had, it doesn't feel like the start of the holiday season because the weather's so warm. Right? The climate weather is unusually warm, and the energetic weather is unusually rough. And we talked about how divisive it was, how much blaming was going on, and how little energy was being put toward the envisioning of peace or a better space. It was a real bad blame game. And people were not treating each other well as they matched that vibration of divisiveness, right? So here we are again. In a way, here we are still, right? It's a cycle back, but it's the chronic frenzy, right? Didn't start 4 years ago. I don't know when it really started, but it's almost like a hysteria in our culture that's been building. And it's as if our okayness is somewhere out in the future in some unattainable thing. And then when that thing is attained, if it is, the okayness moves to the next thing. So there's always something to be upset about, afraid of, or someone to blame. Whether it's, I should be afraid of this now, this pending political battle, this coming storm, this next virus, this next illness, the thing I should be doing, everybody should be buying this, or creating that, or what I should not be doing. All of it is non-peace. And people are running in a variety of directions, seeking something that is not available. And it's getting wearing, right? We're all getting good and sick of it, it seems like. And some people aren't bearing it well. The people on the East Coast right now Some of them are doing well and supporting each other. It's a very, very rough time in those places. Some of us have family there. I used to go to Seaside Heights every summer when I was in high school in northern New Jersey. And so it's a hard and dark time. And some people are really helping each other and being supportive. And there are some people who are hurting other people for their own gain. There's a total disconnect from empathy. People are being robbed and looted. It's amazing, amazing. That's the frenzy not being held well by people. Those expressions in those wild, wild ways. Here, among all the other things that we've had happen lately, there was just an accident on C-470 the other day. Highway was closed. A man was killed. And the young woman who was the driver of the car that caused the accident left. And she attempted to create a story that the car had been stolen. And that really struck me for a number of reasons. For some reason, no disrespect to men, that a young woman would do that. There's something that women, I feel, right? We're the nurturers, right? We're kind of the nest builders. For that idea to occur to a young woman really struck me and was a wonderful expression of how disconnected that we are. And what was her plan? Right? Was she going to live with that for the rest of this lifetime? What a thing to bear. Another expression of the frenzy not being borne well by the humans, by the spirits in human bodies as it gets more and more intense. So it's always been important to be able to get space from that frenzy and have the perspective of spirit from which a new reality can spring. The answer to all of this frenzy energy is not a certain political party, right? It's not a certain guy being in the particular office. It's not a certain type of technology or energy technology or not a certain type of technology or energy technology. It's not one group being in control, another group being in control. It's not acquiring a certain level of material havingness. The answer to all of that is being able to see it in spiritual perspective. And when one can see that frenzy in spiritual perspective, it can go away. When we pull our power out of it, when we step into our inner church space, right? And we remember that we are incarnated spirit. That compelling demand for our attention and our fear becomes so much less powerful, right? Because we come back to home base. And from that place, we would, I imagine, act differently toward another maybe. Not from a moral standpoint, because you have to, or you're not going to above or below or wherever you're going when you leave your body. Not because it's a rule, but because it's our nature. Right? Because if I am whole and at peace, it is my natural tendency to give, to reach out to another who needs, to receive when I need, and to connect and communicate. When I'm stuck in the frenzy, it's often I'm compelled to isolate. Even in community, it's all about me. My fear. You see what I'm saying? So as we come out of it, as we come home, and we rebuild ourselves from spiritual perspective up, each of us individually can contribute to the creation of a brand new reality. And it won't be from fighting. It will only come. Outer peace will only come from inner peace. A lot of that frenzy energy rides on the quest for fulfillment. Right? If I have this, I'll be fulfilled. If I have a relationship, I'll be fulfilled. If I look like this, I'll be fulfilled. If the number on the scale is this particular number, then I'll be fulfilled and happy with myself. And that lack of fulfillment is a vulnerability within us to those control games. Eat this and you'll be happy or whatever. But when we create fulfillment within ourselves, all of those things become choices. Again, it doesn't mean we're not going to live our lives. It doesn't mean we're going to just sit and go, right? Although sometimes that'd be fun. We're not going to all become monks in the monastery. We're going to be out there in the world living, but we're going to be doing it from a space of greater joy. Not because we have to, but because we can, right? Because we're here, not because it's a burden. And that happens when we remember that we are spirit in a body, that when we remember that we're incarnated souls. And that, to me, is the vibration of church, a space where people come to say hello to each other as spirit on earth. At this church, we like to connect with that space through meditation, right? Most of us who come to this paradigm aren't very good at like the Om meditation of total clearing, right? That's not something that resonates or has been particularly successful for us. So we keep it super, super simple. And that is really important to me because even in metaphysical communities, there can be these hierarchies of attainment or enlightenment, where when you have suffered enough, then you can experience a particular level of God. But you can experience the fullness of yourself as God or you as a unique part of consciousness just like that. You don't need to suffer for it. It is within you, without question. So we like simple meditation that puts us in touch with that space within ourselves. So I thought it would be fun to play with a meditation today. It's been kind of serious. Trying to think of a joke. Dang. All I can think of is a really old one. Oh, the look at the dog with one eye. You've heard that many times. So two guys are walking down the street. One guy says to the other guy, "Hey, look at that dog with one eye." And the other guy goes, "Okay." It's a classic, but a goodie. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. I can't put it down. Okay.